So CNN is reporting that there have been regular conversations between the White House and Fox News in regards to the network's coverage of the pandemic and specifically the vaccines. Fox News said in a statement that the network had a briefing with the White House in May on vaccination rates and, quote, our D.C. bureau personnel are regularly in touch on a variety of issues, end quote. So, is this just the touch and go of reporting, or do you think the White House is trying to send a message here?
I mean, White House is in touch with all media outlets, but there's no media outlet on our landscape like Fox News. It's its own ecosystem. It is so this is not exactly normal, but Fox is taking an interesting turn in the last couple of days, and I wonder what you think is driving it. I saw some cynical takes out there saying that all you had to do is not shave a couple percentage points off of the stock market, and now all of a sudden now all of a sudden Fox and Republican leadership is like, okay, enough, go get your vaccine. Like this was fun for ratings, and to rile people up for a while, but now I'm taking a hit in my portfolio, and it's time for you to get vaccinated and get back to work.
Yeah, they have taken sort of an interesting turn, and initially I think some Fox anchors from the right are responding to a little bit of the other networks just bludgeoning Republicans, right? They're like, Republicans aren't the ones getting the vaccine, and your stupid rubes are like, they're driving all of this. And it was sort of an interesting strategy to berate the people that you're trying to actually compel to do something. And so I think there was a little bit of that overcorrection, because so much of our cable news now is networks reporting on other networks and tattletelling on them.
Right, yes, and attacking each other's viewers.
Right. Yes, that's a great point.
With MSNBC and CNN just absolutely mocking anybody who wouldn't take the vaccine as some white rube idiot.
Yeah.
And then Fox News pointing out, well, actually, in the black community, the resistance is actually slightly higher than over here. So why are you being so racist in the way that you're describing people who have hesitation about the vaccine? But yeah, it just becomes a sport with not just attacking each other, but either attacking each other's viewers or using each other's viewers kind of against the network.
Yeah. I'm curious about some reporting that you did on the disparity between, or appearing disparity between, what Fox News anchors were saying about that vaccine versus what their actual corporate policies were, because it seems like you were the one that uncovered this.
Yeah, I lose track of my days. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. Right. We reported on this program that Fox Corporate has a program called the Fox Clear Pass, so if you have been vaccinated, and I think it should include antibodies, but that's just me. So if you've been vaccinated, you can submit proof of that vaccination into the Fox Clear Pass system, and then you get back basically a vaccine passport that clears you to work on site without a mask. If you need to go into work, then you're supposed to keep the email handy so you can show it to people. Look, I've got the Clear Pass. If you're not vaccinated or you don't want to submit to this process because you think, like Tucker Carlson, that it's medical Jim Crow, then you're required to mask and socially distance. And it feels like it's a private corporation. People can, the private corporations, to some degree can do what they want. Seems like a reasonable policy to enable people to get back to work safely and to keep unvaccinated people protected. But what's interesting, is that it's been around since June 22nd, I think, is when they first rolled it out. It wasn't reported until a month later when an employee sent me the email that they had gotten from an HR department giving them their Fox Clear Pass. So Fox had the last month to tell people, look, we do take the vaccine seriously. You want proof? Here's the system we have set up internally. The fact that they never shared that publicly meant that there was some internal tension that was leading to some embarrassment about this system.
So I think it's interesting because I think that if you break down sort of the concerns that, Tucker Carlson and some Republicans have about vaccine passports versus Fox's initial policies, I think there is some daylight, because I myself don't love the idea of vaccine passports, right? And I think where Tucker's concerned and a lot of sort of civil libertarians' concerns is that they're state mandated, which is distinct from private companies being like, you need this to come to work.
That's true, though. Tucker lashed out at Major League Baseball for saying that people would have to sit in different areas if they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, and those are not. I think those should be state-owned. I think cities should actually own the teams rather than billionaires. But right now, billionaires own them, so those are private facilities. But I do agree with you that somewhere in there's some daylight. Yeah.
I don't love the idea of the federal government having even more data on me than, of course, they already do, although we know big tech is really just controlling all of us. So I know that some shift in tone has been happening at Fox. I think we have some of those clips. Sean Hannity downplayed the pandemic, but regularly has now been in favor of vaccines. I think we have that clip. He had this to say on Monday.
Just like we've been saying, please take COVID seriously. I can't say it enough. Enough people have died. We don't need any more death. Research like crazy. Talk to your doctor, your doctors, medical professionals you trust based on your unique medical history, your current medical condition, and you and your doctor make a very important decision for your own safety. Take it seriously. You also have a right to medical privacy. Doctor-patient confidentiality is also important, and it absolutely makes sense for many Americans to get vaccinated. I believe in science. I believe in the science of vaccination.
And let's take a look at Mitch McConnell, who has always been pro-vaccine because of his history with COVID. With polio. But recently there's been a lot more urgency to him. This is, I think, what passes for emotion from Mitch McConnell.
I want to underscore in the strongest possible manner I can, and I say this with some authority, as you all know, as a result of being a polio victim myself, and being very aware that it took 7 decades to come up with 2 effective polio vaccines. This was done in under 1 year. These shots need to get in everybody's arm as rapidly as possible, or we're going to be back in a situation in the fall that we don't yearn for, that we went through last year.
As somebody who is also a bit laconic in his delivery, I sympathize with McConnell's attempt to really show that emotion, like look, and you can see that he's doing it right there. He's like, get these shots in these arms. So do you think that it's going to matter? Like, is the hesitancy that's out there among conservatives, I don't think Mitch McConnell's going to reach Democrats, is it going to be diluted or impacted by this kind of change in tone?
I mean, it remains to be seen. I think a lot of conservatives, at least the ones I talked to who haven't been vaccinated, were sort of waiting to see what happened. It wasn't that they were opposed to the vaccine. They just sort of were waiting for people around them to get it, sort of those close family validators, right? Well, that guy didn't die, so maybe I should do it kind of thing. So I do think that, hopefully anyway, we'll see more people kind of getting those shots in arms.
Get your shots. Tomorrow on Rising, Emily will be back. Thank you, Rachel, for filling in today. Very much appreciated. And, of course, we have another great show planned for you all with Drew Holden, Trevor Aronson, and, of course, Team Rising.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos, and we will see you all later.